manners. He the kitchen. I don't know about this. Yeah, मैं show देख नहीं रही हूँ, so I don't know. But that's actually funny.
अच्छा, तो बेसिकली हमजा आप क्या बोलना चाहते हो इस स्टेटमेंट पर? लहसुन प्याज की स्मेल, ये कैसा स्टेटमेंट है?
It's someone saying आज की episode में बोला था. Okay.
मैं ये चीज सुनी नहीं है और ये चीज मुझे तो समझ ही नहीं आ रही ये क्या चीज है, तो उसके ऊपर नो कमेंट्स ही ठीक रहेगा.
Okay, fair,
Yeah, I don't
fair.
have the full context on that, but yes, Sunke, I want to start watching the show again. You know, Tuba is so mean, but when you just like when you hear sometimes you iski baatein sunke, I'm like shocked. You're, the things you say are so like obscure, you know. But enough about Tuba. Let's move on to another question. And Mia, you've been with us for 2 hours now, almost.
Thank
So
you.
we are gonna wrap up in like probably like 30 minutes, but I think that would be good. So we're gonna try to get these questions in. Did you want to accept any other guests? किसी और को live पे लेना है? Okay.
If anyone जो कोई बात करना चाहे तो इट्स
Okay.
ओके, हम कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज देन फिर इस चीज को खत्म करते हैं. आई थिंक ये ज्यादा टाइम हो गया है.
Okay. Yeah, so we could just leave the guests out and just try to answer questions, and then in 30 minutes will be over. But people want to go live with you, so you should come on live more and add people. Okay. So let's see. He's gone.
Just disappeared.
I don't know. Maybe he just left. Maybe he'll join back. But
I think
can
so.
can you have you been watching the show, Amna? Because I haven't been watching for like a while now, and
No, I
I've
did
been
watch it.
kind
It's
of
just unfortunately I skip a lot of it.
okay. So you didn't catch that.
So yes, I didn't catch that. But then now that I'm reading the messages on the live, the comments on the live, I see what they're talking about. And basically Shiraz was like, you know, a woman needs to like dress nicely when her man comes back home. And what I do remember is all the women except for Iman were supporting his statement. So Tuba was basically saying that, yeah, a woman shouldn't smell like onions when her husband comes back from work. And they were
Oh,
all just like egging him on, all of them, every single one except Iman. They were egging him on, and it was like very uncomfortable. And
that's
also
so
the
bad.
Bassam, I don't know why people like hype up the Bassam so much. He is just as misogynistic as the rest of them. And he, instead of supporting his he was actually like kind of, and he was constantly making faces. And it was like, if they had any more time, I'm sure they would have like picked her as the next target to bully.
Yeah, okay. Those comments are terrible. About women. Just speaking as like I know what's mental state that I'm in when my husband gets home. And the last thing on my mind is to look pretty and smell pretty. Okay. I sometimes don't get to shower. I don't get to do those things. And when my husband comes home, I sometimes I don't even I still don't shower. Sometimes I just want to go upstairs and lay down and he watch the kids. Or I just want to relax a little bit. When he comes home, my priority is not to look pretty for him. It is to relax a little bit myself. But he is also really tired. So when he comes home, it's kind of like we're both helping each other out. Like we've both been working all day, and I work from home too. So it's like I'm doing multiple jobs. That whole comment is just, I
Yeah.
don't know. You know, people are saying that they want a tuba edit. I just hate the show, and I hate all like this type of stuff has been since the beginning of the show. They've been saying shit like that, and I'm just so done with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's like, how do I? this is like something that I should never have to explain. It's like a very obvious
Yeah.
thing. Like you're so stupid for if I would feel like I'm insulting my own intelligence to talk about it. But if you guys still want edits on the show, you could send me screen recordings and I'll try to do what I can. But I'm not watching the show and putting myself through that.
Yeah, I think there's a very big gender imbalance on the show. I feel like women are constantly being put down, and because, unfortunately our culture is one where a man is propped up, and even though these women, they might dress modestly, they're in a closeted environment where if they potentially speak out, they could be bullied, they could be isolated. And I mean, just look at Batul. Like, she literally looks like a deer in headlights all the time. Like, maybe she's scared, maybe she doesn't want to leave, like, or maybe she's genuinely just accepted it. And because she was brought up in that type of environment, she just thinks like this is normal. But there's like a very large gender imbalance there. Even when Mir was talking about making breakfast, I was like, why is the women making breakfast? It's like these, like, I mean, Shiraz is 40. Like, does he not know how to boil an egg?
Yeah, Shiraz, do you not cook food for your kids? Weirdo.
Like, instead of, saying that, oh, men, when they come back home from work, they could also try to help their wives to do this and that. He literally says a wife needs to be ready when the husband comes back home from work. Like, appearance is like the number one thing.
That's so disgusting on so many levels. I
Like,
just,
ugh, yeah, it's just too much. And the fact that only Iman was like saying that, oh, this is pretty misogynistic, and everyone else is like huffing and puffing and like sighing, and it was like
yeah,
really
someone said that.
uncomfortable.
Maybe I'll just watch this episode just to, you know what? I think I will, just to talk about it. I think I've given the cast enough days of peace. It's time to get back into it. Just because this is like so absurdly disgusting, and it reflects because we know that Shiraz has been in this position where he has a wife and kids and all those things happening at home. So it's like it honestly it is a real reflection of who he is.
Yes, I
Yuck.
agree. Just looking at his Instagram, the things that he puts out there, he is clearly he thinks he's like a top dog or something. He thinks he's the shit. Any woman who's with him is like getting the prize. Like, that's what he thinks. But he honestly like looks ridiculous to any woman who has a brain.
Yeah.
And
Um.
then, oh yeah, and then also they later on, so instead of saying like, oh, बीवी को तैयार होना चाहिए, they changed it to hygiene रखना है, hygiene.
Yeah.
So
Manipulating,
yeah,
manipulating, and gaslighting is their forte.
and then Iman was like, अच्छा, I thought you guys were talking about like तैयार होने में, ready होने में, but आप लोग hygiene के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. And they were like, yeah, we're talking about hygiene, hygiene, hygiene.
Oh. Oh my god. Hate these people. Another thing is like with the edits, I feel like I've run out of ideas. How do I make fun of? How do I talk about this? Like if you see like at a certain point in my edits, it kind of just became voiceovers of me ranting about how much I hate something because there's only so much you can make fun of. When the subject is so heavy, like how many times am I gonna call you a man child? Like man child is too light of a word. You're like disgusting and abhorrent. I
Oh, you
hate
don't
you.
have any
What do you
more
want to
Sabrina
say?
Carpenter songs?
Yeah, like you're a fake ghetto bitch and I don't like you. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna keep repeating the same things, you know? Um, just hate. I'm out of ideas about edits. But if you guys want to leave, if you want to give me suggestions, a lot of people give me suggestions for edits, and some people make their own edits and they're like, you can post this and or you can edit it however or whatever you want to do with it. But I wanted to show you this. And then I'll, if you want credit for it, I'll credit you. I usually try to credit, like if I get something from Reddit, I try to. Um, so if you guys want to give me edits, yeah, we can put that on here. I don't mind. If you have an edit, I can share it.
Honestly, I
I'm gonna
totally
go
get what you
Starbucks.
mean. The episodes are way too long. Like, it's just difficult to narrow it down because then you have to watch it too.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, watching it.
Watching is the hard part. I've never had this problem, like never, you know. I don't know if you watch Love Island, but I do. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like with Huda, I thought like the bullying of Huda was like insane too. But
Mm-hmm.
I never like tuned out. It wasn't like I had to step away. That never happens to me.
Right.
Well,
Girl, I try my best to contact production, but they are just like they have completely ignored this show. I think they have given up.
yeah, you know, they if they made some adjustments, which I don't think they will because production didn't do a very good job. They didn't do their job right. But they don't like how the show's going. But if they made some adjustments and fixed some things, you got a good show. People want to watch it. So
Yeah, and then to be very honest, like I it, even when Mir was talking, he was like performance the plan here, but that was not supposed to be like what they were supposed to do. They were
that
supposed
was
to
the
like
quiet part. You
come.
weren't supposed to say it.
Yeah, like you're supposed to come, you're supposed to like meet people, find love, have a little bit of drama, and then go back home. But these people, like from day one, they're like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that,
Yeah,
and and they're so proud of it too, you know. And I'm just like, no, 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 no. No wonder they
I
don't
know.
want to work with Pakistanis again.
I know.
Tuna has some weird kinks. What kinks
All
does
right.
she have?
I will be right back. I have like I'm gonna take like 2 seconds. Let me see if I can add. Oh, I'm adding Nir Hamza back on here. I think he's here. Um, but I will be right back. And then
Okay,
we'll
no
probably
problem.
finish up in like 20 minutes.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Trying to add him, but you can answer questions and stuff in the chat.
Okay, they need PR training. I think they need way more than that. Way more than that. Because then they'll be like nice on the surface, but underneath they'll still be awful. Production couldn't have done any worse with this casting. All dumbasses supporting each other's roles. Yes, yes, I agree. मुझे भी तुबा कहते Does anybody know why Tuba talks in the third person all the time? I'm glad the show didn't have English subs, or it would have put out a really bad impression internationally. Well, they tried to talk in English for half the episode. Memuna deleted her account. Some of you guys are like very funny. They need solitary confinement. I think
Okay.
I think it's more of the talent agency's fault. Shouldn't you know more about your client? To be honest, that is kind of true. I do feel like these modeling agencies, talent agencies, maybe they they don't have maybe they weren't paid enough, to be honest. Maybe the budget that production was providing them, like this is what they could afford.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
production would have to pay the agency. So the agency has to look for people who are gonna fit within that budget.
Maybe, yeah. I don't, but you know what it sounds like? It sounds like they all had the same, they all went through kind of like one or two agencies and they just didn't care. They're like, okay, if you belong to that agency then will just take you on, and they had an audition. They didn't really do any like proper vetting. The whole thing was supposed to be a planned fake show from the beginning. So the production didn't care and agencies didn't care, but this part wasn't supposed to be said out loud. I think that people were just doing such a bad job. Their performing was so bad that it was clear that it was fake. Then also the way that they are online, lying about their professions and things, it exposed everything. And now they're just openly admitting it that yeah, it was fake. We planned every single little thing.
Junaid was talking about wanting a hygienic partner while
Yeah,
he picks his nose and ears.
yeah. Okay,
This
that's rich,
comment
Junaid.
hearts and sits like a bum. This comment is killing me. But you
Let me
know,
see.
Junaid, every time I see his story, he's literally like at a shadi.
I know. Will was partying, like, bro.
Yeah. That's
Go
why he
home.
needed the money, because he never works. He just in someone's shadi all the time.
Oh my gosh. My this is why I like doing the lives on the weekend because my husband will just watch the kids and then but during the weekdays I have my baby with me, but Mir wanted to come on Monday. He was busy over the weekend. But
I see.
is Mir coming back? You know what? He joined back for a minute, and when I accepted his request, he had left by the chat by then. So I don't know.
Elites of Bach says even Hamza Abbasi was lying about his showroom. I know him personally. Okay, if you know him personally, what else do you know? The prize was fake. I don't know. Do we know if the prize was fake? I don't know if they'd give 30K to a Pocky for acting that badly. Okay, guys, I don't think we should say Pocky. I think that's a bit derogatory.
It's funny because like I know in the UK it's derogatory, but like I used to say that word all the time. Now that I know that it's like a slur, I don't say
Mhm.
it anymore, but that was something that I said all the time. So it was like I think in the UK, like Pakistanis just live a completely different reality than the rest of Pakistanis living outside. So,
Yes.
my brother, he married a girl from the UK and he lives there now. And when I visited, like I've been to London many times, and I
Mm-hmm.
love London, but when I got to go to their town, which I don't know if you guys know, there's probably some UK people here. My sister-in-law is from Blackburn and they live there.
Oh,
Do you know
oh.
Blackburn?
I used to live in the UK. I used
Yeah.
to live in Bradford, which is quite close
Oh, yeah, it
to
is.
Blackburn. Awful,
Um,
awful,
I
awful,
do
awful.
not like do not like Blackburn. That and my brother, he's just like he's there because he has a good job over there, which I don't know how he found.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like it's just easy for now. But there's nothing to do. He doesn't like being around those type of Pakistanis because they're like they're just completely different from
They're
like
like roadmen, like they're always like ready to fight. There's like two groups. One is like the super religious, like the Pathan people, they're very religious. And then
Mhm.
there's like another group who's like very free, but then they act like super ghetto at the same time. And then there's like people in the middle who are kind of like upper class, who doesn't associate with either. But it's just awful, honestly. Like you could be walking down the street and you look up and then somebody wants to fight you, because you're like, hey, what, why are you looking at me like that? It's like,
I know. So my sister-in-law, she has a little brother. And like the
mm-hmm.
first time we met him, he came. Sorry about that. Yeah, my first time I met my sister-in-law. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear.
Stupid filter, always going. Okay, there we go. Um, so the first time I met him, this little kid comes to me. He goes, "I'll cut you. I'll
Oh my
cut you with the
God.
knife." And I was like,
Oh,
"Bro, who's this kid?" I was literally didn't know who he was. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's our little brother. He's like so cute." And I'm like, "He's adorable."
Oh my God, there's just no behavioral regulation. Like my my brother lives there too, and he has some family friends there, and they also had like a little grandson in their house, and he kept dropping stuff, and I was like, oh, he's really naughty. He's like dropping stuff everywhere, and
Mhm.
and then the grandma, she got like super offended, and she was like, no, he's just a kid. He was like, he's just playing. I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember once I made a comment about how people from Bradford are a bit weird because I lived in Bradford, so like I know. And then she got super offended. She was like, oh, my daughter-in-law is from Bradford. You should be careful of like who you say that to. Like, lady, are you threatening me? Because it's my opinion. Like, that's how it seemed like. It was so
Yeah.
weird. Like, like London was really nice, but like Bradford, um, Haslington, like these types of areas, oh, awful, awful.
Yeah. So me and my husband, like we love my husband loves going to Europe for vacations. Like I kind of want to sometimes go to like a beachy area, but he doesn't. He's like, we're
Mm,
going to go somewhere. We're going to Europe, and I like it too because I like colder weather and I dress modestly. So for me, like going to the beach is uncomfortable.
right.
So I like going to Europe as well. So we go to London a lot, and it's just like it's a completely different environment. It reminds me a lot of New York, and we like to stay in the Kensington area because it's like it's so easy to walk like to Whole Foods and get what you need for the kids and stuff. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And then going to Blackburn was an entirely different experience. And my husband actually rented a car and we drove to Blackburn. It just seemed like the easiest thing to do with kids. But once we got there, it was really late at night and we went to a gas station to get gas. And my husband is like, I have been around like really ghetto people in the US of all races. I have never felt scared for my life. Like he was like, I actually felt really scared. And someone mentioned in the comments that there's a drug problem. I'm really aware of this. So I'm not being like mean or racist or anything. I just know it because of my sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
That this is like a big issue and everyone's involved. And that's another reason why my brother, he has like a hard time connecting because he's just like an IT guy, okay? He's just like a tech dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a
Mm-hmm.
nerdy guy and like he's he's pretty like he's just like an Americanized person. And being in this area where there's so many Pakistanis and it's all kind of weird, it's a lot. But
Yeah.
my husband, he was even like, yeah, like that. I actually was scared. Like I wanted to leave immediately and it was a different environment. But the one thing I'll say about Blackburn is the food in these like Pakistani, like these small towns, the food is so good. Like in London the food is not good. But Blackburn had some really good food.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Because like all the immigrants are like bringing their food over, so
Yeah.
100%. There's a comment. Amna, do you know about those two racist Pakistani girls, Sonia X
I know about them.
Faiza, that are from the UK and pretend to be Arab? Like I've heard about this, and it never, personally, it didn't surprise me because a lot of people, a lot of Pakistanis that I know, unfortunately, do lie about where they're from, whether they are boys or girls. There is some type of complex. I think once upon a time I felt the same, but I grew out of it, and I'm very proud to tell people I'm Pakistani,
Hmm.
even if my passport is British. And then,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
get that
it's sad.
too. And those two girls, like I understand having a little bit of a complex, especially if you're living in the UK, because just as a person who, I mean, so obviously I look Pakistani, my husband looks super Pakistani.
Hmm.
Even in London, like there's racism, it's rampant, and we could feel it. Like I don't feel it like in the US how I feel it over there. And so I can feel like, yeah, there's a little bit of, you might feel like a little bit of shame. But those two girls, Sonia and Faiza, I don't understand that. Like, how did you guys push that off and make it this big thing for years? And have they admitted that they're Pakistani?
No, actually, I'm not sure. Whoever commented, like, did they admit it? But personally, what I have noticed is that people will just snoop, and a lot of people from the past will come out and say like, "Oh, these people are not like what they seem." So, but everyone has free will, so they were just probably like, "Oh, we're gonna do it anyway."
Someone said, nope, they're still going. Yeah, like there's just like, there's
That's
something really
crazy.
wrong there. Like there's like that's a whole other thing to try to understand.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
I want to join a book club, but I don't know if I'll remember your name. Can you add me to whatever you're doing? I want to be a part of a book club. But I think this is the end of the live because my kids are about to come home.
Okay, no
But thank you
problem.
so much for joining, Amna. Like I really appreciate it because I think like I'm okay with Urdu, but sometimes I get stuck.
Girl,
It just
these
helps to have,
comments are
yeah.
shitting on me for my
Oh,
Urdu.
I know. I saw that. They're dumb, and it's okay if like your Urdu is not perfect, but just someone with me to kind of explain it. Just bouncing it off of you, I can get my thoughts together. And then there were a lot of questions that you asked that were really they were phrased well. So people are annoying,
Thank
and
you.
people are after me more these days. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, I was
You
seeing
have the
those
perfect
comments,
filter.
and yeah, I'll remove people like that. I just feel like it's weird.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
on.
I know I had you on twice now, or three times, including that
Yes,
first
I'm
time.
honored. I'm
Yeah, it's
wearing a
been
badge of
fun.
honor.
All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to everybody later.
Okay.
This was fun. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.